Yeah, hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss about two more concepts in the Pytest. One is Parametrize, and other one is how to run the test in parallel. Let's start with Parametrize. Pytest mark Parametrize decorator enables parameterization of arguments for a test function. So let's take an example. Let's say you wanted to run a test multiple times with different set of data. I have three set of data and I want to run the same test for three times. For example, I have a login functionality. I want to run the login functionality with different username and password. The same test, but I want to run with different set of data. So in that case, Pytest parameterize will be very useful. Let me show you how to do that. So let's take a function. So for login you need username, password. I'm not writing the entire code here. I'm just printing the data. Password. Okay. So I want to run this test with different input data or with different set of data, okay, which you can do by using pytest mark dot parameterize. Here you need to pass the parameters username comma password. It must be in the double quotes, and the parameter must match with the arguments. Okay, so these are the arguments, and these arguments must match with these parameters given here, otherwise it will throw error. Okay, comma, and then you need to start a tuple. Function must have a colon. Now run the code. There is some error here. Yeah, you need to separate the tuple by comma. That's the error. Now let's run the code. Now you can see the same test login, which has been executed with three different set of data. Okay, if you want to add one more set of data, you can add it. Okay. Okay, make sure you separate by comma. Each tuple you must have to separate by comma. Now run the code. Okay, so like this. So whenever there is a requirement that you need to run the same test with a different set of data, then you must have to use data driven concept, which will be supported by using parameterize in Pytest. The next topic that I'm going to discuss is how to run the test in parallel. Take this example. So here I have test login with valid password, test login with invalid password, test login with empty password, test login with password that has special characters. So here I have four test methods and I want to run these four test methods in parallel. So how can I do that? If I directly run this code, it will run in sequentially. Each test will run in sequentially, but I want to run the same test in parallel. So how can we do that? So if you want to run the test in parallel, you need to install a plugin. The plugin is Pytest xdist. Okay, you can copy this code, pip install pytest xdist, copy, and then go to the terminal. Okay, clear the stuff, paste it, run the command. Okay, so it will be installed. So in my case it is already installed. That's the reason it is saying requirement already satisfied, but in your case it will be actually installed. And then you can run by using pytest -n auto. So this is nothing but how many threads you want to span, or how many process you want to span. For example, I have 4 test cases. I want to span 4. So all the 4 test cases will run in parallel. Let's say I have 4 test cases. If I use auto as 2, first 2 test cases will run in parallel. After that, another 2 test cases will run in parallel. Okay, so let's take this example, Pytest. This you have to run from the command line. Okay, I have 4 test cases. I'm giving 4, and then I need to give the name of the test file. Refactor, rename, copy the file name .py. Okay, so now run it. You can see 4 workers, 4 items, and you can also see there are 4 browsers are opened. Okay, at the end 4 passed. There are 4 test cases and all the 4 test cases are passed.